Today's video is sponsored by Black Gold Compost Company. I want to thank the good people over at Black Gold for the generous donation of all this beautiful black cow manure that we use in our video today, and it's made a tremendous success in our garden. I've been using black cow for many years, ever since 1980, and it's always made a tremendous difference in my garden, and I've been very pleased with our product. I highly recommend it. Thank you, Black Gold, for sponsoring our channel. Well, welcome to part 2 of our watermelon series. We'll be right back after the break. I want to share some good news with you. Be right back. Well, welcome back. We're so happy with our watermelon. They are doing really great. I just wanted to share with you the progress of our watermelons, and we're going to watch this all the way up until we harvest them. And if you'll look real close, like at this little hill right here, you can see that I'm already getting some blooms on these some of these runners, which is really pretty exciting because we know what that means. That means watermelons will be developing here pretty soon. So we're real excited about that. If you look at the each hill out here, you can tell that they're starting to run. The runners are running out in a great pattern, which is why we wanted to space them the way we spaced them, remember, on part 1. So that's working out correctly. We're looking forward to the days ahead as this continues to mature. My hope is that these vines just completely cover this entire 5,000 square foot garden. It just totally consumes it, and that way it'll keep some of the weeds down, and it's nothing but just watermelon out here. So that's the goal. I didn't want to spread out weed tarps and all that stuff. I just wanted to cover it with the vines, and then after we harvest, I'll just till all that right in, and that puts that nitrogen right back into the soil, because let's face it, I got some crummy soil out here, so I got to work with that soil over the years. But anyway, it's looking pretty good. We'll be back in the days ahead. We'll watch the progression of these beautiful watermelon vines as this little watermelon patch comes into its own. So we'll be back soon. See you later. Well, good morning, friends. It's been a month since me and Nancy planted all these hills of watermelon out here in the watermelon patch, and today's May the 10th, and we planted them on April the 10th, so it's been a whole month. But last time we talked, we were showing you that the vines were starting to run and they were getting the little yellow blooms on them, and since then they've actually developed the little melons. And if you come up and take a close look, I want to show you these seedless watermelons. They're really starting to get somewhere now. They got a nice little melon getting started, and notice how round they are. They're nice and round, and they'll be continuing to grow in the days ahead. We'll just keep our eyes on them. And let's go down here to the rattlesnake varieties. They're lagging a little bit behind the triploids here, all the seedless. The rattlesnakes are doing pretty good, and if you look up close to them, you can see that they've got some little melons getting started on them too. But they're the long, elongated, oblong watermelons, remember? And they have seeds. But anyway, they're doing great. So we'll be back in the days ahead, and we'll keep our eyes on the progress of these beautiful watermelon patches as we get closer and closer to the day we can slice one open. So we'll be back soon. Well, our watermelon patch didn't go without any problems this year, that's for sure. We're gonna pick one today and open it up just to show you what I'm talking about. They're not really quite ready, but they're close enough to where we can show you. And what we don't eat, the chickens will thank me. Then we had an excessive amount of rain here lately, and it's caused us to have some fungus problems on our watermelon vines. That's something you want to keep your eye on. As soon as you see a little bit of red spots on your leaves of your watermelon, go get you some liquid copper and spray your vines thoroughly to try to get rid of that fungus, and stay on top of that, because they're very prone to it to start with. And you know, the least little bit of rain, several days of rain and then several days of overcast, you're going to get it. So watch out for that as you're growing these watermelons. And let's grab one of these and we'll open it up and let you see what it looks like. You want to grab one over there?
Okay, hold on.
Just get that one right there.
That one right there? Okay.
Cut off the stem there.
Bing Bing, stop licking it.
You didn't get something to eat? He sees you picking something up, he thinks he's going to get a piece of it.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, here's our first one. It's nice and heavy. As you can see, the bottom of it is starting to turn a little bit yeller where it was laying on the ground. That's usually a good sign. The stem came off real easy, so that's something else you want to watch out for. And that first tendril that comes off of the right before the fruit, as soon as you see that tendril dying back, you know, it's turning brown, that melon's pretty much ready. So let's take this over there to the harvest area and chop it open with that knife, in case you're wondering why she's walking around with a knife. So let's go over there and cut this thing open and see what we got. Okay, we're pretty much ready to fillet this thing, see what we got. So let's check it out.
Ooh, that sounds fresh.
That's really not too bad. If we had to just let this grow a little bit longer, as you can see, not any black seeds. There's little white seeds in there, that's normal. And you will get once in a while a couple of black seeds in there. Here's one little black seed right here. You see, you're going to get one or two, but this is pretty much how it's supposed to look. So this one came out. The only problem is it's still young. It should have been allowed to grow a little bit longer, but we wanted to show you this demonstration so you wouldn't have so much rind. You would have more red than this rind right here would be a lot less. But anyway, that's what we're getting out of it. But anyway, you want to take a little taste of that?
Mm-hmm.
Figured you would.
I love watermelons.
There you go.
Ooh. Mmm. Good. Mmm.
I tell you what, that's pretty sweet. And if this had been out there a little bit longer, a bulldog would have tore up a chain trying to get to that.
Yep.
That's pretty tasty.
Yep.
Anyway, we'll enjoy this little snack right here this morning, and we'll be back shortly, and we'll get some of them big rattlesnake, Georgia rattlesnake watermelons, you know, the ones that do have the seeds, and we'll bring them over here and we'll cut one of them open. So we'll be back in a few weeks, because right now they're only about this big, and we want them to get bigger, right? We'll be back soon. Well, our watermelons are finally coming in, and we're starting to harvest them little by little each week. The rattlesnakes are still kind of small, but they're still producing, so we'll continue to enjoy these the rest of the summer. And the little personal seedless watermelons are doing pretty good too. They're not as big as we kind of hoped for, but if they're not quite as big, we just eat two, right? But anyway, the little seedless, but see, like that one, it's still got, it's not very big, but as you can see, there's only one little seed. You usually get one or two, like I said before, but these right here, these are real sweet, ain't they? They're not as sweet as me, are they?
No, not quite.
There we go. Let me open that up.
All right.
So you can see it's not a giant watermelon because they're kind of small, but
Oh, that looks delicious, hon.
that is quite tasty. And then the rattlesnakes, you know, they're kind of small too, but we're getting into them. I picked a couple today just to show you how they're coming along, but the chickens love these things, especially when it's hot. All the electrolytes in there just revives them. So I'll just show you what one of the rattlesnakes look like. That's not too bad. Could be a little bigger, but they get bigger as we go. And you know, as I said before, these are full of seeds, but that's what the chickens don't mind them at all. And it's pretty tasty if you cut the heart out like what we normally do. Cut the heart out like that. See there, you can just get right into it. Just slop that right on in.
Yeah.
You want this? Here you go. Here you go. Here you go.
Okay, come on.
That's pretty tasty. But we've had a blast growing these watermelons, haven't we, baby? So the planting them wasn't so fun, but
This is sweeter, but this is good.
that's the sweetest one, of course. But
Yeah.
it's a little more riper than these too. So these are really young, but they're great for the chickens. And we got, oh God, we must have 50 or 60 of them out there of this size here, and we must have another 20 or 30 of those. So I mean, if they're small, that's all right. We made up for it in quantity.
Yeah, chickens love them.
Chickens love them. You know what? You might be a chicken and not know it. All right. Well, anyway, we had a blast. I hope you enjoyed this little journey of growing watermelon together with us. We look for many watermelons in the years ahead. You know, we got a nice watermelon patch now, so it's a permanent watermelon patch, and we can do all kinds of melons out there besides watermelon. It's just any kind of melon we want to grow, we can grow out there. So we're just delighted to have that. And we thank the Lord for this beautiful little harvest of watermelon. And until me and my little chicken friend here sees you next time, we want to always remember, by his hands we are fed. Give us, Lord, our daily bread. Amen.
Have a blessed day.
Okay.